Hey y'all, this is Diddy. He went to trial today, and today is day one, but they're doing the jury selection today. So this is y'all
Today marks
update.
the start of the Diddy trial, and we are already seeing some brand new, massive celebrity names coming out as they are trying to voir dire the jury. So basically, what's going on is they are in the preliminary part of selecting the jury, which is going to take the next week or so. And they're showing them a binder that's filled with names, places, dates, etc., and wanting to know what people think about them or if they know these people. And two of the names that have now been heard are comedian Mike Myers, yes, like Austin Powers Mike Myers, and Michael B. Jordan. Now, I have a few updates for you, but let's talk about jury selection first. There are hundreds of people who are potential jurors in this particular case, and they were given a questionnaire to see, number one, how much they knew about this case already, and to elicit any type of bias that they might already have. Now, when they brought the first group of jurors in, which consisted of more than 50 people, none of them reacted when they were told that Diddy was the defendant, and Diddy is there, and apparently none of them even recognized who he was. Here are some of the questions that are being asked to potential jurors. Have you read about the case? Have you ever been involved in a lawsuit? Have you worked in law enforcement? Have you ever been accused of a crime? Have you ever been a victim of a crime? Do you have views of artists in the hip hop community? Have you been impacted by allegations of R or intimate partner violence? Now, Diddy's team also had a trick up their sleeve this morning, something that we learned about today. And that secret weapon is this woman, jury consultant Linda Moreno, who is one of the best jury consultants in existence. So for those who don't know, both prosecution and defense get to participate in helping to pick the jury. Well, Linda has a pretty good track record of helping to pick juries that acquit. But one thing that I do want to notate is don't take the prosecution lightly. They're a team of powerhouses also, and I'll be doing a breakdown on them shortly as well. Now, again, I will be covering this from start to finish.
Diddy admitted that he was super nervous during his trial today, that he actually needed to step out and take a break. During jury selection, right after talking to a juror about the RICO charge and asking her if she had any problems with kidnapping, arson, and more, Diddy would then ask the judge for a bathroom break and told the judge that he was really nervous today. The judge at first denied Diddy's request, saying that it hasn't even been long enough. I'd at least like to get through 10 jurors before you want to take a bathroom break. But then he ended up letting Diddy have 2 minutes to use the bathroom. A lot of people don't focus on these little things, but how you act and even how you dress during your criminal trial does matter at the end of the day, because it gives the jury a perception about you. And when Diddy showed up for trial today, he showed up with reading glasses on. And yes, Diddy isn't young, but this whole entire time, Diddy has not worn glasses until the last court date and now during trial. I think he wants a certain perception about himself to be played to the jury. One thing that really shocked me, and it shows you how little the world actually is how many people could be connected to Diddy one way or another. We actually just found this out with one of the jurors who admitted that his wife deposed Diddy in the City College tragedy. And if you don't know what the City College tragedy is, it's basically when Diddy got his start. Him and Heavy D promoted this event, and they oversold tickets, which would end up costing 9 people their lives. Now, there was never any criminal charges for this, but Diddy was deposed because he had multiple wrongful death lawsuits against him, where he was found 50% responsible with Heavy D. Now, the judge asked this juror if his wife has ever expressed negative views about Diddy, and he replied yes. The judge said, "Did you tell your wife that you're on this case?" And the juror said no, but another juror who knows my wife saw me and told her. And this is exactly why jury selection is so important, because you think there would be no way that they would get a juror that somehow is connected to Diddy. But in this case, this is one of the cases that we are seeing that this juror could potentially somehow, through his wife, be connected to Diddy. And another juror that's going to sit in knows this juror and told his wife about it. The judge then asked for that juror to write the juror's name that told his wife about it on a post-it note and give it to him. The judge then asked, "Can you not talk about this case with your wife?" And the juror said yes. The judge said, "If you are chosen, I will order you not to speak with her about this case." In my opinion, I don't think that this juror is going to be chosen. I think that there is a big conflict in interest on that. I am not 100% sure because I am not a lawyer, but just the way I'm reading this, I don't think that this juror would be chosen in any way. And I think even the other juror who knew this juror and ratted him out to his wife probably is also going to be excluded, because that's still like a conflict of interest, and that juror was already saying things that they shouldn't have. This is why jury selection is so important, because you don't don't want any mess ups or make this have a retrial. But y'all,
Well, it ain't so funny when the rabbit has the gun. What if I told you on day one of the Diddy trial, all of these celebrities have already been named, but it's one certain celebrity right here that really has Diddy nervous. And I'm gonna tell you why. Look at this list and I'm gonna break down the ones I think you should pay attention to. I'll get to Michael Myers, but first let's go to Kid Cudi. He is listed in the indictment as having his car blown up by Diddy because Cassie went to him after her and Diddy had a fallout. And the next name is Kim Porter. Well, we know she mysteriously passed away after she said that she had a tell-all book about Diddy coming out. And that brings me to my next one, Al B. Shore, who has a child by the name of Quincy that is Diddy's stepson, and Kim Porter is also the child's mother. So Al B. Shore and Diddy both dealt with Kim Porter, and Al B. Shore had a mysterious illness that almost took him out. Another name on that list is Lori Harvey, and her and Diddy dated. But guess what was crazy about this? Lori Harvey actually dated Diddy and his son Justin. I wonder what crazy went on there. And who else did Lori Harvey date? Michael B. Jordan. What could be going on between Michael B. Jordan, Diddy, and Lori Harvey? But it's Michael Myers we need to be paying attention to. And this P. Diddy party in 2002 called the greatest party of all time. That might be what has Diddy allegedly nervous at the start of this trial. This Diddy party, which was coined the greatest party of all time, had all celebrities, but it was invite only. If you had a scuff on your shoe, you could not go in. There was literally only one invite per celebrity. You weren't even allowed to bring anybody, maybe security, one person. But it was this Conan interview that Diddy did that may have sunk him, and reason why he is so nervous because he broke one of the craziest laws at this party, allegedly. Sean Diddy Combs boasts about locking women up at parties in resurfaced interview. Side note, Michael B. Jordan was invited at all the intimate Hollywood parties that Diddy had. And at this party of all parties, Diddy said you needed beautiful ladies, of course. But it's just this statement right here. You gotta have water. And ladies love water. So if you don't have what they need, they're going to leave. So you gotta keep them there. You need locks on the doors. Conan O'Brien was shocked by the suggestion of using locks on the doors, even saying it sounded kind of dangerous. Then Diddy went on to describe it as a little kinky, also saying you needed a lot of heat and don't have any air conditioning because the heat affects the alcohol and it gets a little more comfortable and loose and builds up a nice little sweat. Would that be to go along with the slippery baby oil? This is only day one of the jury selection, and it's already looking too freaky for me, and I don't like it. What if I told you? Well,
Y'all, it's looking like Diddy snitching, y'all. I think Diddy snitching. Look at this.
That's some breaking news right now. Get this, the former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, Mike Jeffries, is arrested in connection to a sex trafficking case. Prosecutors have been investigating allegations that Jeffries ran a sex trafficking operation involving young...
Well, this was a couple of months ago
Arrested this morning in
when
Florida
this
as part
happened.
of an investigation led by federal prosecutors in New York. This story is developing. For more details, you can visit our website, fox32chicago.com.
I thought Diddy snitched also when I heard he went to jail.
Prosecutors in New York. Is he going to be on a superseding indictment? Child, who else is about to be on this thing? Abercrombie? However you say your name. Y'all better hide. Ooh, child, this is hot. Diddy said, I'm going to just tell on Wayne so y'all will stop playing with me. You better put him underneath the jail. I don't care who he tells on. Don't don't give him less time because he's spoiling. Man, y'all. Okay, also watch this.
So here's what's alleged in the indictment. Jeffries and Smith employed James Jacobson to act as a recruiter to find men. Jacobson engaged in, quote, tryouts with men across the world where he would typically pay them to engage in sex acts with him. Following the tryouts with Jacobson, Smith would often then personally approve whether the men who were selected would meet Jeffries and Smith. The defendants would fly the selected men to Jeffries and Smith's homes in the Hamptons in New York City or to hotels around the world in such places as England, France, Italy, Morocco, and St. Bart's for the purpose of attending events to engage in commercial sex. But beyond simply hiring men for sex, Jeffries, Smith, and Jacobson used force, fraud, and coercion to traffic those men for their own sexual gratification. For example, as alleged, the defendants employed a referral system and an interview process that did not inform the men of the details of the sex events before they attended, including the full extent and nature of the sexual activity that would be required of the men at these events. They caused the men to believe that attending these sex events could yield modeling opportunities with Abercrombie or otherwise benefit their careers.
What?
Smith and Jeffries employed a secret staff to operate these sex events. The staff ensured that the men signed non-disclosure agreements and handed over their personal items, such as their phones, before the start of the events to maintain the secrecy of these events. The defendants caused the men to believe that not complying with requests for certain acts, sex acts, during the events could harm their careers. The defendants pressured the men to consume alcohol, Viagra, and muscle relaxants known as poppers during the sex events. And they required the presence of staff during the sexual activity and ensured that the men did not leave the sex events until Jeffries and Smith decided that the sessions were over. Also, as alleged, on more than one occasion, Jeffries and Smith either directed others to inject or personally injected men with an erection-inducing substance for the purpose of causing the men to engage in sex acts the men were incapable of engaging in or unwilling to.
What in the Diddy party is going on? Listen, when Cat Williams said 2024, everybody's being exposed. Y'all, I wasn't ready for this. I'm so not ready hood. My lace just lifted. This thing is about to pull my.
Did he do it? That's the question that everyone wants to know, as today, Monday, May 5th, marks the beginning of the Diddy trials. This morning, jury selection started in one of the toughest districts in the nation, the Southern District of New York. Sean Diddy Combs is currently facing a 5-count federal indictment, and these charges stem from allegations that Combs operated a criminal enterprise under the guise of his entertainment empire, coercing women into what is oftenly referred to as freak-offs. If he is found guilty, he faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars and a maximum of life. Unfortunately, this will not be broadcasted live like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court trial because of federal court restrictions, but we will be getting periodical updates along with sketches like we got this morning. Sean Diddy Combs was reported to walking into the courtroom this morning in a calm demeanor, hugging his lawyers. Now, after they pick the jury today, opening statements are expected to start tomorrow or at the latest next Monday, May 12th. So my question to you is, did he do it? As always, let me know what you think about all of it.
Did he do it?
They are starting to name these celebrities, y'all. They have about 150 potential jurors, and they have already asked them if they are familiar with Kid Cudi, Kanye West, Mike Myers, and Michael B. Jordan. So these names will probably be mentioned again when testimonies and opening statements start next week. Today, the judge has been questioning these potential jurors to see if they even qualify to be jurors and serve on this case. They're pretty much asking the jurors anything that would affect them being impartial or fair toward the case. Don't forget to follow me because I'm following this case so you don't.
So the Diddy trial update is right here. I'm going to try to do as much updating as possible throughout this next 2 months. Since I was breaking tea and breaking some stuff in this case, I'm waiting for a few names myself. I don't live for gossip now. I just want the truth to be known. I want the truth to be exposed. The Bible says to expose wickedness. That's what we're doing. Of course, today was the first day of the trial. And there was a few things that took place. About 600 potential I can't say the word, y'all. Give me grace. Jurors. Jurors. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So out of 600 people, of course, they're going to pick 12, and they had a questionnaire all the way ranging from some serious questions. And number one, you have to be able to, they ask about their sexual preferences and all of these detailed questions. And you have to kind of have the stamina, the appetite to be able to see what's going to be shown in court. Maybe if I was a fly on the wall. Hard part is finding non-biased people, because who ain't heard of P. Diddy? Who ain't heard about this case? This case has been all over everywhere, okay? Who I think they should have chose is people who don't be online, okay? You ain't got an online presence, you don't have social media. Those are the people that they need to really be reaching out to. Also, a lot what was on the questionnaire was your thoughts on about your sexual preferences, and if you can tolerate explicit evidence that they will be showing. A lot of people could have traumas and things of that nature dealing with such explicit content that will be shown in court. It said it started out that P. Diddy was telling the man with the black robe on, what they call him, the judge, that he was a little bit nervous and he needed to take a break. He showed up, he ditched the what they be wearing in jail suit, and he had on what looks like a blue button up, like a blue sweater. They said he was all gray. You ain't getting no dye. I don't know why he ain't dying in jail, but I don't know how that works. Allegedly, there are witness statements that's claiming that people were paid to keep quiet, among so many other criminal acts. We all know what the criminal acts are. So if all of this comes true, if he's found guilty, he would basically be dealing with a life sentence. Baby, they didn't name Michael B. Jordan. Now, I didn't see that one coming. Michael B. Jordan was named. Okay, let me tell you why they named him. They were giving out like a list of names of different witness statements of like different places and events and things. And 2 names came up already. We ain't even got started yet. Michael B. Jordan and Mike Myers. I gotta go research who Mike Myers is. But baby, so Mike Myers is a Canadian actor, a comedian, and he does film work in the film industry. So that's who Mike Myers is. So they was named amongst. Oh, we did not see Michael B. We didn't see this coming. I'm mad I didn't see. I'm really processing. I'm processing why Michael B. Jordan is named amongst the people. The ain'ts. All I got today. I have a great feeling that this is going to spill over until tomorrow, trying to find the right jurors to be able to do this unbiased. The odds of that, somebody gonna be up on their line. I'm gonna allow everything because I people do that. This ain't good luck finding the people. Y'all.
Could you be a fair and impartial juror in the Diddy case? I'm a lawyer in real life. I don't play one on television. Today is day one of the jury trial, and let's recap. Now, in federal court, you don't have video, you don't have audio, so everything we know about the case is going to come from people reporting. But let's talk about what we've heard. So today on day one, the court has called in potential jurors. So these people are being questioned as part of the voir dire process to understand whether they can be fair and impartial to both sides. This is the juror questionnaire. So it has a list of questions that the judge has agreed can be asked. So before the trial started, the defense had an opportunity to submit potential questions. The government had an opportunity to submit potential questions. They each had an opportunity to object to proposed questions. And this is what they have come up with, this jury questionnaire. And let's see how many questions they will be asking the potential jury. So there is a total of 31 questions that are going to be asked. There are reports that Sean Diddy Combs has a jury consultant who is working with his team. That makes sense. In a case like this, with someone who has the resources, they want a jury consultant to help them choose the jury. Of course, even the questions that are on that questionnaire, the jury consultant probably helped them come up with the questions that they wanted to ask. Here are some of the questions that are on the juror questionnaire. There may be evidence of sexually explicit videos, photographs, and language in connection with this case. Would such evidence interfere with your ability to sit fairly and impartially in hearing the evidence or the lack of evidence? Here's some more. Before today, had you read, seen, or heard anything about Mr. Combs, aka Puff Daddy, aka P. Diddy, aka Diddy, aka PD, aka Love, or the criminal charges brought against Mr. Combs? They also asked, have you formed any opinion about Mr. Combs' guilt or innocence of the crimes charged as a result of anything you have heard, read, or seen? This part of the case is literally the most important part of the case. You can have an excellent case, an excellent client, excellent witnesses, but you have 12 people who are not good for your case in the jury box, and your case is doomed. On the flip side, you can have a terrible case, terrible facts, but you have the right 12 people in that box, and your case can be won on day one. Do you think you could be a fair and impartial juror in the Combs case?
So I'm just leaving federal court on a very rainy day of jury selection, day one for the Sean Combs trial. The judge is hoping to see about 40 jurors so that they can narrow it down. 18 is the magic number. They need 12 jurors and 6 alternates. What stood out to me today is that the jurors were given a list of people and places, and the judge wanted to know how familiar they are. Kanye West, Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child. It is unclear in what context this might actually come up in Jordan. Michael Myers, celebrities that were mentioned in court. Michael B. Jordan, Michael Myers, Kanye West, Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child. It is unclear in what context this might actually come up in the trial, but I definitely thought it was interesting. The prospective jurors were asked questions about their view on...
So the Diddy trials are starting today. And of course, the industry is probably shaking in their boots right now. Everybody who was at Diddy party, everybody that had anything to do with Diddy, they shaking right now. Because some things is about to come out. Now, you hear a lot of people compare the Diddy situation to Epstein's situation. Epstein didn't get the chance to go to trial. They didn't see what happened with Epstein. They still haven't released the Epstein documents, at least what we wanted to see in the Epstein documents. Epstein took his life, apparently. Diddy is alive. Diddy got some new lawyers. Diddy is ready to fight. He ain't want to take that cop out. So what I want to know is, who do you guys think is the most nervous? Because everything that people were waiting to see It's about to be seen right now. I'm quite sure that the courts are about to reveal everything. It might not happen today. It might not happen tomorrow. But over the course of these days of this trial, we don't know. The trial might last for months. We don't know how long it's going to last, but they're going to reveal a lot of information. What celebrities do you think?
Damn, that lady pissed me off so bad that I forgot that Diddy trial started today. They said that man arrived in court with a very soft look on his face. Yeah, because that man know he's facing life in prison. And we all know that's just the face he's putting on because he wants to seem innocent and seem like he's at the mercy of the courts. Now, they said that a lot of celebrity names were being mentioned during the jury selection. And I don't know what that means for Diddy. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Now, they could be witnesses on Diddy's behalf or they could be testifying against him. Needless to say, these celebrities are going to be a part of Diddy's trial. And the first person up, Kanye West. So what I'm trying to figure out is, was he playing crazy because they knew they was going to call on him? Kanye is a smart man, but for some weird reason, I feel like he knew they were going to call his name, so he been trying to play crazy for a reason. Next up, Mike Myers. Now, I don't know where he fit into all of this, but I'm sure they got very good reason to have called on him. Then there's Michael B. Jordan. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, have he been sinning? Because he just came out with the movie Sinners. So have you been sinning with Diddy? Like, are you testifying on his behalf? Are you testifying against him? Inquiring minds want to know. Now, this is the one person I know for sure. He's going to be definitely testifying against Diddy because we all know from the lawsuit that Cassie came out with, yeah, that he blew up Kid Cudi's car. So in my humble opinion, I do not think that Kid Cudi's going to have anything good to say about him. And Dallas Austin. And we all know Dallas Austin is a songwriter and record producer, and he used to date Chili back in the day. I do know he and Chili had a child together, and I'm not sure why that relationship ended. Lorianne Gibson. Now let's just talk about this. We all know that Lorianne Gibson is going to testify against Diddy. And I say that to say she had her own run-in with Diddy where during a filming of MTV's Making the Band, when they were doing some dance routines, something happened. Her and Diddy wasn't seeing eye to eye. And Diddy threw a chair at her. Lorianne even went and filed a report against Diddy. Now, what came of it, I don't know. Lorianne Gibson is a renowned choreographer. She's worked with Katy Perry, Nicki Minaj, Michael Jackson, Alicia Keys, Beyonce. And the man that's on trial today, Diddy. So if anyone could spill some tea on that man, it would definitely be her. Then there's Dawn Richard. I really don't know what side of the fence she gonna be swinging on, because I remember when she was coming out hard body defending Diddy. Oh, he's responsible for my career. I owe him. Then she came out with a lawsuit with these allegations. And then we have Harv Pierre, and we all know he was Diddy's president of Bad Boy. And not too long ago, Harv Pierre got caught up in a lawsuit with Diddy. And I believe it was Thalia Graves, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. There was a lot of them. But he was definitely caught up in one of them lawsuits. And if it's not Thalia Graves, it's Anna Kane. It was Anna Kane. Now, will he be having good things to say about Diddy? Probably. But I have a feeling that this man is going to be trying to save his own. Now, I don't know how Michelle is involved in all of this. But, ma'am, why your name being mentioned? Michelle be out the way, so I'm confused. And then I'm trying to be nosy and figure out what the hell is going on. Why Michelle's name is being named? Now, I'm not saying she did anything bad, but I'm wondering what she gonna have to say. Now, during the jury selection, it came up that the juror is familiar with Al B. Shore. And Al B. Shore's memoir, Do You Believe Me Now? So because this juror is familiar with Al B. Shore, the memoir, the book, Do You Believe Me Now, he was excluded from being able to be a juror. And they said that they will be discussing Al B. Shore and Kim Porter at Diddy's trial. Now, I wonder if that will open a can of worms. Now, all I know is that Diddy rejected his plea deal last week, and I hope he's ready to accept his fate, whatever that may be. Now, what do y'all think about these celebrities that were mentioned? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Damn, that lady pissed me off so bad that I forgot that Diddy trial.
Here's what happened in day one of Diddy's trial. Because this is federal court, cameras are not allowed inside the courtroom. So instead, you're going to see sketches like this one. This is a sketch of Diddy hugging his lawyer. He wore a blue pullover, and the photo also shows that he had some gray in his beard and in his hair. Because it was day one of the trial, that means it was day one of jury selection. There were as many as 600 potential jurors that filled out questionnaires. And what is going to happen is small groups are going to be called up,
and attorneys from both sides will be asking them various questions. As of the end of today, there were 19 potential jurors that are moving on to the next stage. And according to reports, most of the potential jurors that are women have said that they have either experienced SA or they know somebody that has. There were several requested bathroom breaks during this that the judge did not want to take. And at one point, Diddy said that he needed a break because he felt a little nervous. Opening statements are expected to begin on May 12th.
It's Monday night, and here's what happened. Today was day one of jury selection in the Diddy trial. Katie Fang, Sammy, and I broke down the entire first day on Substack. You can go to the link in my bio or underthedesknews.substack.com to watch the coverage for free. Also today on the Substack, we've got a good news only update. It's really important to know when things are going right so that we know not to give up. Speaking of giving up, though, Donald Trump over the weekend said that he was going to put 100% tariff on movies.
I'm a little nervous today, Diddy told the judge while asking for a brief break. Yep, that's how the first day of jury selection kicked off in one of the biggest celebrity trials of the year. I'm an attorney and I read what happened, so you don't have to. Inside the courtroom, Diddy ditched the jail uniform for a blue sweater and a button-up, but the nerves were clear today. After 7 months in custody and several denied bail requests, Diddy looked tense. In Manhattan federal court, nearly 600 potential jurors were summoned to ensure a fair and impartial trial. The defense has already tried to dismiss one woman who works at HBO, which incidentally released the documentary called The Fall of Diddy. However, the judge has denied their attempt to remove her. Michael B. Jordan's name was also read out to a potential juror from a list of names and places that will likely come up throughout the trial. Federal agents say they have receipts, videos, witness statements, and even claims that Diddy paid people to keep them quiet. From music mogul to federal defendant, this trial is just getting started. Let me know if you have any comments or questions and follow up.
Jury selection for P. Diddy's trial began today.
Today marks the start of the Diddy trial, and we are already seeing some brand new, massive celebrity names coming out as they are trying to voir dire the.
Today is May 4th, guys. It's May 4th. Y'all know what tomorrow is, right? Tomorrow is May 5th. And I was just reminded, shout out to TikTok and scrolling, that Diddy's trial starts tomorrow. Now, I hope this is not true, but about a week ago, I think it was, I saw that T.D. Jakes was resigning as the pastor of the Potter's House. As someone who grew up in a family filled with preachers, okay? My uncle just resigned from his church probably this year, and he's like 80. I mean, 80 has to for health reasons or whatever. Most pastors are not resigning from their church just out the blue like this. Normally you see them declining in health or something and you know that they're leaving, so it all makes sense. This seemed like it was a shock to everyone. And when I say everyone, people who don't attend the Potter's House regularly. So I am very interested to see if his name is going to come up in this trial. If it doesn't, then okay, maybe something's going on. Maybe he's sick. I can't see him just doing this just because. But we are going to see what happens throughout the course of this trial because it does start tomorrow. It's not streamed, so it is something we'll have to get updates from people inside the courthouse. I'm just waiting, y'all. If they call that man's name, I will be the F done. I'm gonna be done, y'all. I'm just praying they won't. I am really praying they don't call his name because, goddamn, not T.D. Jakes, not T.D. Jakes. It's always terrible when you have a man of God who you feel like, I've listened to plenty of sermons from T.D. Jakes. A lot of his sermons helped me get through grieving my mom. I've been to his church before when I was really young. I understand that he is human. I'm not the person who does not understand that pastors are human. I get that. I can't understand why he would be caught up in something like this, right? You had freak offs. Y'all gonna be out here calling that man the freaky deaky pastor, some foolishness like that. Like, I just would not be able to take that attached to TD Jakes' name. But I'm gonna tell you, the timing is so sus because that trial starts tomorrow. And yes, I will be giving updates as far as I can, as much.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm more of a, you don't find that suspicionist. Like, you don't find that suspicious, brother? And, you know, I remember I used to argue with my friends about Diddy. And I was like, yo, I just, shout out to everything he's accomplished. I'm this is my type of guy, right? One of the few things that I used to think about that I never used to say out loud, and I'm going to say it out loud now, is you don't find it suspicious that after rocking with Diddy, 3 different people chased after finding God, and they did it in 3 different Abrahamic religions. Mace ran to be a preacher in Atlanta, Christianity. Loon, Islam. Shine, Judaism. I'm not saying Diddy's the devil, absolutely not. I want to kick a man while he's down, he's fighting the charge. But I am saying, whatever with the business dealings, whatever energy was around you, you don't find it suspicious that it made people chase after finding God in 3 different flavors? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm more of a, you don't...
I told y'all what I seen and what happened to me at Diddy house, and y'all finally finna see what the fuck really been going on. His lawyer that he's done paid millions of fucking dollars to fight his case has withdrawn from fighting the case. You wanna know why he's withdrawing from fighting the case? Because he just got the court papers in. The discovery, everything that's been going on in that house that they know of. This lawyer seen that shit and instantly said he can't do this no more. This man don't even want to be guilty by association. He don't even want to fight what it was that he's seeing in them papers. I'm going to show y'all what's in them papers. I'm going to post it on my next slide because everybody needs to know what's really been going on up in that house. Every single room had something different that was going on. That lawyer is really realizing who he was fighting for and realized that it ain't worth it for a check. It is not worth going to hell for a check. The stuff that went on in that house, man, I'm telling y'all, if y'all see that a lawyer is withdrawn from the case, y'all know what's going on. And for those that don't, I'm about to post it on my next video. So make sure y'all follow me for part 2. I told y'all what...
All right, here's the first update on the Diddy trial. A potential juror who is a massage therapist has a sister who has a domestic violence history. Let's get into this. TMZ is reporting that on the first day of the Diddy trial, the judge is asking prospective jurors about their celebrity knowledge and their own personal backgrounds. Based on answers to a lengthy questionnaire, each has already filled out, and one candidate has an occupation and a family relation that could affect both sides. In a packed NYC courthouse Monday morning, federal judge Arun began questioning possible jurors, and juror number 2's job is particularly interesting in the context of Diddy's alleged crimes, as is his sister's relationship past. Juror number 2 happens to be a massage therapist who probably knows a thing or 2 about baby oil, which will play a huge role in the Diddy case. As you know, Diddy bought baby oil in bulk to use during his freak-offs, which are marathon encounters between Diddy, his girlfriends, and a male escort, according to a federal indictment. What made the encounters criminal, prosecutors say, is that Diddy allegedly forced or coerced the females into these situations that lasted for days with plenty of D in the questionnaire he knows of. Juror 2 responded to saying he knows of or may have rubbed elbows with actors Michael B. Jordan, Mike Myers, and he mentioned 2 locations on the list of questions, 2 fancy Manhattan hotels, Essex House, and the Peninsula. The judge asked juror number 2 if he could be fair based on his knowledge of the stars, and he said he could. Then the judge asked about an answer the guy gave to question 10 in the jury questionnaire. Juror 2 explained his sister was beaten by her ex-husband years ago and gave her a black eye, which led to divorce. but juror 2 told the judge he could still be impartial. I don't know, guys. Can this guy be impartial with this experience that he has? This sounds like an informant or something. Prosecutors did not challenge the juror, but Diddy's defense attorney Mark Agnifilio did. However, the judge overruled him and told Agnifilio he could use a preemptory strike to remove the potential juror without needing to provide a reason. As you know, picking a juror will be a major challenge for the prosecution and the defense. So that's the update for today. There's just some
Yes, I heard the news. Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs is back in the headlines as today marked the first day of his trial. Now, for those of you who don't know what's going on, let me break it down for you. So Cassie is accusing Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs of doing a lot of things that I cannot discuss right here, right now. Anyways, and so there's also this whole other element of all of these people that I cannot discuss right here, and how they went to these Diddy parties and they did a bunch of stuff that I cannot discuss right here, and they use that Diddy oil for things that I cannot discuss at all right here. Anyways, and so P. Diddy's family is just hoping that he gets to go home, whereas everyone who is involved in the trial, who I cannot discuss right here, is hoping that he gets to go to prison, where, people get to do things that I can't discuss right here to his...
So P. Diddy trial started today. They saying, did he do it or did he not do it? Did he do it or did he not do it? That's what they saying in the street. So basically, they did offer Diddy a plea deal, which he turned down. I always say, when the government comes at you with a plea deal, that means they ain't got nothing on your ass. That means their case ain't as strong as they need it to be once they start giving you a plea deal. So my daughter...
All right, y'all. So that boy Diddy trial started, and man, a lot of celebrities probably scared right now, because from my knowledge, there's a lot of people that's on that list that was at them parties, and a lot of crazy and tomfoolery going on. So I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I think it's about to be crazy this week. I think it's about to be crazy. I think a lot of stuff going on. I want to say Melly stuff kicked back up this week. Dirk. It's finna get crazy. I'm not gonna lie, so much going on in 2025 is not even funny. Like,